Folks, let's go to New York, where the mother, Ramarley Graham, is demanding justice after learning that the NYPD officer who killed her son resigned over the weekend instead of being fired by the department.
Where's my son justice? Where's the city of New York justice for the people in our community?
Richard Hayes quit his job after learning that the department trial found him guilty, saying he used poor judgment when he shot the 18-year-old. In February 2012, Hayes chased Graham into his home and shot him in the bathroom in the presence of the teen's grandmother and 6-year-old brother. Graham was not armed. Initially, a grand jury indicted him, but a judge dismissed the case because of a procedural error. A second grand jury, no shock, decided not to indict him. Joining me via FaceTime from the Bronx is Constance Malcolm, Ramarley Graham's mother. Constance, first of all, again, sorry for your loss and the constant pain that you have to endure here. This is a problem that we continue to see across this country, where police officers, knowing full well they're going to get fired, they resign in order to keep their full pension.
Yes, good morning, Roland. Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's a serious problem. You know, what happened, well, I got the news on Sunday night. Unfortunately, Richard Hayes got the news on Friday, and I never got a call till Sunday about it. And I felt like it was just something they wanted to do. They want to act like they was doing something by firing him and then give him the options to, because basically they gave him the options to resign. Because if you found him, you told him he was going to be fired on Friday, you should have fired him Friday when you told him that. No, he would probably do something like that.
What also is stunning when you look at this case is that it has taken this long. I mean, you're talking. It's still just amazing to me that this process has gone on this long. He's been able to draw his salary. He's been able to accrue his benefits, and still no justice in this case.
Don't forget pay raise since he killed my son and rack up a whole bunch of overtime.
Do you also believe that a part of this issue, beyond, first of all, reforming our grand jury system, because that's also what we have here, where we have grand juries are absolutely afraid to indict police officers, that you have to change these union contracts where, in essence, rogue cops are not being rewarded for bad behavior and murderous behavior?
It's funny that you said that, Roland, because since 2012, I've been saying that. You know, whenever a police involved in a shooting, they should, once they go on desk duty, they should not get paid while they're doing an investigation. Once the investigation is finished and they've been exonerated, yes, give them their pay back, but not until they're still being investigated, still getting paid. This is why these cops keep doing it, because they figure, okay, you hit him on the TV. One cop, he shot the kid and he goes, oh, I'm gonna be on desk duty for a whole month. That's all they're worried about.
Oh, and I've long said that as long as cops are not responsible for paying their own legal fees and losing their benefits, then you'll see the same sort of action. But when they begin to pay themselves, that will change somebody's behavior, because they'll think twice when it comes to their actions. That's
right. They will think twice, because they're going to figure, where am I going to get this money to pay these lawyers? So they're going to think twice even before they do something. And, you know, the problem is most of the time these shootings happen is in our community, the black community. Yes, you do hear it happen other places, but majority of the time it's in the what they call the poor community.
I'm trying to understand here. He chased your son into the home, and as I'm looking at it, he had no warrant to go into the home. He chose to go to. He shoots him. There's no weapon. Has he offered any apology, any explanation?
First, I want to say, you know how they claim my son was running. You saw the tape. It clearly shows my son was walking. The only person who was running was Richard Hayes. Yet Richard Hayes, for the whole 5 years, from the first time he got indicted till the case got thrown out, till in January when we did the department trial, Richard Hayes never offered an apology till yesterday at the press conference. Well, not to me at least. This is what the press was telling me, that he said he wanted to talk to me. About what? You have 5 whole years to say you're sorry or whatever you want to say. As a matter of fact, in January, when we did the department trial, you had the opportunity when you was on the stand. Every party that was involved in the house that day was sitting right in the court. That was your perfect opportunity to say, I'm sorry, or whatever you wanted to say.
Congressman Malcolm, we certainly appreciate you joining us. Thank you so very much. And hopefully, even though he has resigned, I would hope the NYPD makes some effort to try to take his pension, because otherwise this guy pretty much will be drawing on taxpayer salary for the rest of his life for committing murder. Yeah, but I want to remind you something, Roland. We still have 2 officers that have been charges. I have charges on them, and we don't even know when they go into court and when the schedule is for them. And are those 2 charges departmental charges or actual criminal charges? Department charges, and they still haven't told me what they was charged with. So this is the problem. When Richard Hayes was going to court, they never told me the charge. I had to sit in court to get the charges. They would not tell me. And this is what we call to protect and serve. Constance Malcolm, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Roland. You have a good day. All right, thank you very much. Let's go back to our panel here. I mean, when you have an Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, who stands before states attorneys generals and said, we're going to pull back when it comes to holding these police department accountable with these consent decrees, this is why that's a problem.
Well, there's no excuse for this, Roland. And to be honest with you, I'm almost to the point where I'm just getting embarrassed of being an American citizen. I have gone to third world countries where their legal system is a lot more effective and efficient than, I mean, how many black kids do we need to see killed and the policeman gets off, and then all these folks want to rally around the policeman as though this guy deserved what he got? Yeah, but here's the deal, though. But when you have, and this is not just Trump and others, but when you have this constant, we're going to praise law enforcement, we're going to say, oh, how difficult their job is. And I keep saying, look, when you are afraid to call bad cops out, you have no credibility with me when you try to say, oh no, that we should praise them for a difficult job they do.
You know, you made a very good point. You have to make sure that, you know what, even though it might be a small handful of cops, they're doing a lot of issues that disproportionately impact the black community. Among a small group of conservatives in New York, we thought about different ways that, you know what, we can try to mold and shape the culture of the police department. And how do you do that? If some of these settlements, which was charged against the pension fund, yeah, I think that would actually start molding and reshaping the culture. But the culture, Avis, is simple. This American culture says we will protect officers and give them so much leeway where literally they can do whatever they want to do.
Absolutely, and the American culture says that the black body is not your own, is not that person's own. The black body is okay to be violated, to be murdered, and nothing will happen to you. Now, you know, I don't necessarily even agree with this idea that it's just a handful of people, because it's also the people surrounding that quote-unquote handful that protect the handful, which to me makes them complicit, which to me makes them just as guilty as the person who pulled the trigger. With this particular case, what's really disturbing to me is not only did this mother have to wait 5 years for this lack of justice, this man is going to make this money. Why can't, now that he's a private citizen, I'm not an attorney, but why not sue him personally at this point? He doesn't have the police department to protect him. I would make sure to my dying day that he didn't get a dime of his pension. He would be fighting me in court forever. And
Wilmer, at the end of the day, these sort of cases cost other taxpayers millions of dollars, upwards of, when you total it, upwards of $500 million. And citizens go, okay, we'll pay it.
Well, and it was thought as a result of the Baltimore settlement and some of the more recent settlements that went well beyond the state's ability to self-insure, that taxpayers would start screaming at the fact that they now are having to carry this incredible financial burden to settle these lawsuits. This really has to go back to the police departments. This really has to go back to the unions. And once charges like these are filed, the police officer should lose a lot of his police protections until the case is determined and found, and if he's found to have been guilty of murder, then he needs to be treated like any other citizen who is convicted of murder, and the pension should go out the window.
All right.
Well, that's why I had mentioned that, you know, instead of putting the burden on the taxpayers, you put the burden on the pension fund. That will help to that's one of the elements to help to reshape the culture.
No, I agree. A peaceful protest turned deadly. 37-year-old black man was shot and killed by Baton Rouge police. His hands are in the air, and you still get shot by the cops.
Oh my God, please don't tell me he's dead.
We're not gonna let hate define us.
Race is a big part of this.
If truly all lives matter, then all lives need to matter equally.
What we require is action. What we require is accountability. We understand that black lives do matter, and we will keep focused on this issue.
NewsOne Now, every weekday morning at 7 on TV1.